No.
Yeah.
You're going to scar our listeners.
I'm sorry.
The Late Night Legends podcast is meant for a mature audience. Topics covered may be violent or sexual in nature and are not suitable for sensitive listeners. Please be aware of your surroundings. For specific trigger warnings, please see the episode's show notes. Testimony shared by guests of this show are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Late Night Legends hosts or staff. This podcast and any linked materials should not be considered medical or professional advice, nor is the information a substitute for the expertise or treatment from a professional. Listener discretion is advised.
Watch out.
All right, everyone on the interwebs, welcome back to Late Night Legends. Welcome your moms back to Late Night Legends. Tonight's the night for Unsolved Mysteries. We've got Colin, Maria, myself, Frank, and Kay's going to be presenting. So strap in, get ready, because this is going to be legendary. Go ahead, Kay.
Ooh. That was good.
It's really good.
Yeah, so there are a lot of unsolved mysteries out there. One we've been discussing before we went live tonight, but that's a topic for next week. Speaking of next week, real quick, join us live while we eat Taco Bell. Thank you, Maria. While Colin talks about the Taco Bell Strangler. So make sure you order Taco Bell and tell us what your orders are, because we want to order some of what you guys suggest we order. So
Tune in next week for a Baja Blast.
thank you, Frank. So
It's not the only thing that blasts from Taco Bell.
Yeah, right?
Harrison is here.
Harrison's not happy about that
Harrison's
comment.
like, shut that down, please. So the first unsolved mystery that we're going to be talking about tonight is the Black Hope Curse. Has anyone heard of this?
No.
So, in the early 1980s, Sam and Judith Haney bought a house in Houston, Texas, and they described this house as their dream house. It was in the middle of a suburban neighborhood. It was everything that they had been looking for in a house. So they intended to stay in this house for a while when they bought it. Everything was fine when they moved into the house. And then one day they get a knock at their door, and it's this older man, and he just kind of came out of nowhere. And he tells them that there are people buried in their backyard. Which, I mean, if somebody comes knocking on my door and tells me that, what kind of reaction are you going to have to that?
You'd say, duh, I put him there.
I'd be like, how do you know, buddy?
I'd be like, there's no way anybody's digging in my backyard. This is Phoenix.
Yeah. So a quote from Sam Haney, he said, "This elderly man told me that he had noticed that we were putting a swimming pool in our backyard and that there was something about our backyard that I needed to know. So I followed him around and he pointed at the ground and said, there are some graves right there. And he marked a spot on the ground where they were. And I really didn't know how to react to that. I didn't know if he was just joking. I couldn't understand why anyone would want to joke about something like that." I would probably have the same reaction. Probably wouldn't let them in my backyard, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, have a nice day, my guy. I don't need you on my property. So Sam, they want to put it in this pool. So he's like, let's find out if there really is anything buried here. So he decides to take a backhoe and start digging where the man pointed to. And after digging for a little bit, he hits something. So he stops, gets down from his backhoe, and him and his wife start digging by hand, and they hit pine boards. Yeah. When they lifted the first board, they could see the indentation of a skeleton form, and they realized that they were looking at human remains. So, real quick, somebody comes to your door, goes into your backyard, points at your backyard and says, there are graves there, and you dig, and there are graves. You find human remains. What are you doing? What is going through your head? I'm just curious.
Immediately, I think to myself, don't tell anyone, especially the village, because those permits can be hard to get.
Oh, yeah,
and if you
those
tell
permits are
somebody,
pain.
they're going to take away your permit, and then you can't put the pool in. That's my first thought.
You're in trouble. You could be 2 years for an investigation before you could dig.
Dude, fuck that.
Yeah.
So would you just like keep digging?
I would take them out, and I'll put the pool in.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he's starting the hole for you, you know?
Yeah.
It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission, you know? The pool's
You
already
guys
in. What's
have
the
any
village going to do?
decorations for the podcast?
Oh gosh. Oh.
What if we put like a real skull? Would anybody actually know?
I don't know. Ask Disney.
Yeah.
Disney.
They had a human skeleton in a ride, didn't they?
Oh,
They used to have multiple on Pirates of the Caribbean,
that's
but
right.
they took them out, but supposedly one of the skulls is still real. Who knows? But yeah. Maria, anything like reaction from you?
I mean, I would definitely suspect the dude that knew that there were bodies buried in the backyard. He's
Smart.
got to be involved somehow.
Smart.
I'd probably call the cops and turn it all in for sure.
Like,
Even if it
this-
delayed my pool, I think that's probably the right thing to do.
Damn, come on.
I mean,
it's-
if they
it's
find out
hot.
later, then they would probably also suspect you for hiding
Yeah.
it and not saying anything.
I show
so
the
it's
ring
good.
door cam of the guy coming to my door knocking on it and let him find him.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, I don't know when this happened, so it might have been before ring. Who
I'd
knows?
check to make sure the skeleton doesn't have any cool jewelry that I could take first before I call
Yeah.
the cops.
Frank.
I'm just kidding, kid.
Graves
Oh my
already getting
God.
robbed.
Yeah, see if they have a wheat penny.
Some gold teeth, you just pull it right out of their mouth.
Yeah.
It's loose after the decay starts.
Yeah. Sounds like great ideas to me.
Your
We,
body
we
will
give great
decay.
advice on the podcast.
We've been told that.
We have multiple
Yeah.
times. So they went with Tim's idea. They immediately call the sheriff and the coroner to come out. The coroner conducts an official exhumation of the bodies. There's two side by side, and they check it. They're like, "Yep, these are actual graves. These are actual people." And they wanted to find out more about who was buried into their backyard, so they spoke to a longtime resident named Jasper Norton. And Jasper had dug multiple graves in the area over the last few years, and he told them that their house and a dozen others was built on top of an old African American cemetery called Black Hope, and the deceased were mainly former slaves.
Oh, boy.
Why were they just building houses? I mean,
I would call whoever I bought the property from and immediately demand some type of discount at the very least. I don't think they disclosed that during the sale of the home.
Yeah.
Well,
They
you
do-
get a time period on that one, unfortunately.
yeah. They do end up doing that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Like I say, isn't this similar to like The Exorcist, the movie? Wasn't that what they did? They built on like an Indian burial ground and
I don't know if I've...
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
one of those.
Kay's actually a poltergeist.
That's me. Yeah. The last burial of the Black Hope Cemetery was in 1939, and as many as 60 people were interred there in paupers' graves. Specifically, the two people buried in the Haney's backyards they were Betty and Charlie Thomas. They died during the 1930s, and their graves were eventually forgotten. Judith and Sam made an extraordinary decision. They decided to rebury the two in their backyard just to let them rest in peace, prayed over them that their spirits would rest in peace. And that's not exactly what happened. So I also want to know, you find 2 bodies in your backyard. Would you put them back? Or would you want the coroner to do something with them?
Real talk. I would probably try to track down the family and ask the family where they would like to be relocated, if they have a place or not, or if they want to rebury. That's what I would do.
that'd be the right way to
Respectful
go
thing
about
to
it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no pool. No pool for them.
Oh, for a little while.
Anything's a pool if you try hard enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Above ground pool.
Slip and slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are like, okay, we're just going to let them rest in peace. We're all good. All Gucci. We've been respectful about it. Well, it wasn't all Gucci. What?
Sorry, no, I just realized that Colin and I are reacting to the same lightning
Yeah,
in the
right?
window.
We should, next time there's a big one, we should time it out and see who's closer.
Let's just hold hands.
Yeah.
Hold hands off screen.
Cuties. Besties. So weird stuff starts happening in the house. The first thing that happens is in the middle of the night, there's this alarm clock that starts going nuts and sparking and emitting a blue light. And when they get up to unplug it and see what's going on, they realize it's not even plugged in.
Is it an older one that
Sons
has
of bitches.
batteries? Some of those have batteries. They have the C batteries in them.
I don't know, it's in the 1980s.
Yeah, it's probably got
maybe
a C battery jammed in there.
or a D battery. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? 9-volt.
Oh, yeah. You ever licked a 9-volt?
Oh my God. My favorite pastime.
Oh, yeah.
I was
It's a
going
lot
to
of
say,
fun.
Colin, is there anything
on
that
your
you
tongue.
haven't licked? But
Very few things.
Colin, you remind me of like one of the kids at camp that tried licking a banana slug to see if it would make their tongue go numb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I probably would have tried that. I'm not going to lie.
Still could.
Yeah, still good.
What's stopping you?
I just don't know where to find a banana slug.
Ooh, challenge accepted.
Okay, so the next thing that happened was Judith was home alone one night and wasn't expecting her husband home until late. And she hears the glass slider door open and hears a voice that she kind of thinks is her husband, but doesn't sound quite right. That just says, "What you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." Doesn't really respond to it. And then she realizes that the glass slider is locked. So her husband wouldn't have been able to come through it. And he wasn't home. So she looks around, can't really find any evidence that somebody has come into the house. Her husband comes home later that night. They wake up in the morning. And she puts on an outfit and specifically wants to wear this pair of red shoes. A very specific pair of shoes. She starts looking in her closet for these shoes and can't find them. And her husband starts helping her look. They're looking all around the house, looking everywhere. They cannot find these red shoes. A little bit later on, they're walking around in the backyard and something catches her eye, and sitting right next to the woman's grave are her red shoes. And it just so what am I trying to say? It just so happens, yeah. I'm losing my mind. That the day that the shoes came onto the grave was the woman's birthday. So it was like her husband came into the house and picked her out a pair of red shoes and set them next to her grave for her birthday.
Pool time.
Tim's like, I'm done. Yeah. So the Haneys weren't the only ones who were having things happen in their house. A dozen of their neighbors also reported lights, televisions, and water faucets turning on and off, and unearthly sounds and supernatural apparitions. One set of neighbors, the Williams, had a terrible feeling anytime they were in the house, and any new plant they planted on the property died, no matter what they did. They tried fertilizer, they tried anything that you could possibly think of. Any plant that they planted died. And they said that near their flower bed, or what they were trying to make their flower bed, sinkholes appeared in the unmistakable shape of a coffin. The Williams would fill them in, only to have them reappear a few days later. And they also felt that their ideal home was being invaded by a menacing presence. Random shadows slid along the walls, followed by whispered words and a putrid smell.
Time to call the realtor.
Right? Like, are you guys moving at this point? Are you staking it out, filling in the holes, buying new plants? Plants aren't cheap.
I don't care about
Yeah,
any
that would
of that.
get
It's the smell that's got me.
Yeah, the smell.
Smells that
Soil.
bad, I'm out.
Yeah, the smell
I would
does not
probably get the
come
soil
out very
pH
nice.
tested. Could be a soil issue.
Go
My
through
dad's a
phase one.
horticulturist.
That's true. But then wouldn't all of their plants be dying? Because the existing ones, the ones that were at the house when they moved in, those plants were fine.
It's strange why some would die and not others.
Yeah.
It would drive me nuts trying to figure it out. That's for fucking sure.
I love how everyone is like, nope, I'm out of there, call the realtor. And Frank's like, let's test the pH of this soil.
I mean, if anything, if they were like dead bodies, the
Yeah.
plants would go great because that'd be fertilizer.
That'd be great
right?
fertilizer.
Like, yeah, it'd be great fertilizer, but the pH could be bad. If there's sinkholes, it could allude to something else going on.
It could be gas escaping from the ground or
could
something.
be gas if there's like some natural stuff going on.
And that could be the smell.
Yeah, that could explain
Yeah.
the smell. It could explain dead
Either
plants.
dead bodies crawling in and out of the ground and making a sinkhole over their grave. I mean,
Well, there could also be geothermic and electromagnetic anomalies that could be to blame for some of the maybe hallucinations that they're experiencing, or maybe some of the haunting stuff. A lot of times, there's like a house built over an old mine. People think the house is haunted for that same reason, but it's just like gas and stuff escaping from the ground.
Yeah, that's where I'd go with it. But
And actually, fun fact, I used to live in an apartment where it was built over something where there was electromagnetic interference and weird shit was happening. I tested the apartment, found out that was the case. This is before Late Night Legends, way before. This is like 2015 or 2016. And I did have verification because it was also Jesse's apartment, and Jesse confirmed that that building has that issue. So I would say maybe look into that before jumping to a conclusion. But oh, look at we got Chris saying we got some radon poisoning.
I was just about to bring that up. Isn't it radon?
it's radon.
Radon.
I was going to say, I don't know if they test for it all over the U.S. or just in specific places, but I know to buy this house, radon testing was something that you had to do.
Yeah, it could be scientifically explained.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. That's just me though, because I'm a skeptic. I don't
Could be.
know.
I don't know.
Either
Well,
way, if you can't fix the smell, I'm out.
Yeah.
the Williams wanted to move, and so did the Haneys, but specifically in the Williams case, they did not have the money to move, which was a bummer. Same thing happened with the Conjuring house, the parents. They wanted to move, but just didn't have the money to be able to afford it. So they're stuck in their stinky haunted house with dead plants.
Terrible.
Terrible. Ben Williams said at one point, I came home from work around 10 after 12 from the midnight shift, and I walked straight to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator door, and that's when I saw these two ghostly figures, and they went straight backwards into the den. And then they started heading right down the hall to Jean's, and it was standing right about 1.5 feet from the end of the bed. The only thing I really thought of was, they ain't messing with my wife. As I dove through it, I felt a sticky cold sensation in my body. So it's like...
Could be ectoplasm, but...
a tactile thing that they're experiencing.
You know what? When you actually, real talk, I could probably deal with a lot of this shit and not care, but if somebody were to mess with a partner, I could totally see somebody being like, okay, time to move, time to do something drastic. Burn the house down for the insurance money. That's plan B.
Yep.
Now, you can mess with me all you want, but you mess with her.
You mess with my wife, I'm burning this house down. Francis Barrientos, life coach.
Life coach. Yes, that is some other late night legends advice. If your house is haunted, burn it down.
No, actually, didn't Charlie say you can't burn it? You have to relocate your house to the bottom of the ocean, I think is what Charlie would say.
Just make sure that they can't locate the point where the fire started. Make it look funky or something. I don't know. Chris said, good man beats up shadows for his woman. So the Haneys decide that they want to fight back in court. Frank, this is what you would do. You didn't tell me, you didn't disclose all of this.
That's true.
So I'm coming after you. Frank and all his lawyers.
I am Foghorn Leghorn in court, according to that one commenter. Remember that? Southern lawyer?
Yeah.
I say.
You got it. You got a solid case. So they sued the builder for not disclosing that their home was built over a cemetery, in part so that everyone would know what was happening at their subdivision. A jury did award them $142,000 for mental anguish, but a reversal ruled on the legal grounds that the developers were not liable. The verdict was thrown out, and the Haneys were ordered to pay $50,000 in court costs.
Oof.
Yeah. And they ended up having to file for bankruptcy. So they lost everything. He said, all in all, we ended up losing the case, losing the money, and they lost the house.
It's terrible.
One way to get rid of the house, though, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're out of the house.
She's your problem now.
Silver linings.
So, but I'm curious because I feel like that's something that a builder would be required to disclose.
I feel like those laws came into effect probably after that. I think in the 90s. I remember my family was looking for a house in 1997, and there was one house that we saw where they disclosed it. It was on Route 83 here in Illinois, in Bensonville. Colin knows that area.
Yeah,
Route 83 in Bensonville.
Yeah, that's incorporated Bensonville or unincorporated?
Unincorporated Bensonville.
Okay. Yeah, I used to go by there every day.
Yeah, it's like it's Route 83 south of Fullerton High School. Is it Fullerton? Not Fullerton High
Was
School.
it Glenview View West or Glenpark
No.
West?
What's the Fenton? South of Fenton High School.
Yeah.
Fenton. South of Fenton High School on Route 83. My parents, we went, they wouldn't even let us get out of the car as kids because they thought we were just going to be like, oh, very cool. They made us sit in the car, and then my parents came out like, yeah, we also don't like the house. I'm like, all right. So I know as of, at least here in Illinois, as of 97, probably a law to disclose it, but I don't know when it would have went into effect. What state was this again? Did you mention the state?
Texas.
Texas. That's right. If we only had somebody in Texas. Stormfrog, if you're listening, tell us when the ghost law went into effect. He's not listening. He also may not know.
I know you have to disclose if there was a murder in the house. Or is it a murder only if it affects the value of the property? Like if you have to replace flooring because there's evidence from the murder.
And it depends on where. I think Where I see California, you only have to disclose it if it happened within the last 3 years.
Ironically, in Illinois, if there's a murderer, I don't think they need to disclose it. And I have a fucked up story if you want to know how I know that.
Go
Of course.
for it.
So in 2015 or so, I was looking for an apartment, and I was working in Addison on this road called Swift Road. And there was a lot of what they call Section 8 housing there, which I was not aware it was Section 8 housing, but it's like low-income housing, and I had no idea. I just wanted to move somewhere close to work. So I ended up calling this apartment building, and they were not calling me back. And eventually, and I was so frustrated. So eventually, like, I kept calling, and finally I got a hold of a lady, and she's like, how much do you make? And I told her. And she's like, are you moving in alone? I'm like, yes. She's like, okay, single income. I'm like, yes. Then she's like, how many rooms do you want? I'm like, I just need 1 bedroom, maybe even a studio. She's like, oh, no, you don't. She's like, you make too much for that. And I'm like, oh, how much is the 2-bedroom? And she's like, well, this is subsidized housing. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, you probably wouldn't even be eligible. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Thanks for wasting my time. So at the time I worked at this place, it was like I was doing will call in a warehouse, right? And I would like deliver people's what their order is, like bring it up to them in the warehouse, right? It's like a restaurant supply place. And so I talked to a lot of technicians that work on like restaurant equipment, just making small talk all day long. I remember being really frustrated after that phone call. I took that phone call on my lunch, or I had that conversation on my lunch, and I came back and I was telling, like, you become friends with all these techs, right? So like I was talking to one of the techs, this tech that worked for Great Lakes, and he's like, oh, dude, why the long face or whatever? And I was like, dude, I just got off the phone. It's bullshit. Like, I'm just trying to get an apartment across the street. He was like, well, you don't want to live there. It's like, you know, really a high crime area and whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm learning that. And then he was saying that as a side hustle, he paints apartments and he does like handyman work on the side, which makes total sense. And he said that apartment complex that I was trying to rent, he had just gotten a job there to paint over blood that was stained and splattered on the walls. So somebody was killed there. And then he went on to also say that, like, it's like some of the floors have like a shared bathroom at the end of the floor and shit like that. I'm like, oh my God, no thanks, actually. So I dodged a bullet there, but I can also tell you that even having the conversation to rent that apartment, it was not disclosed, and I don't think they have to. And pretty sure, given that building, which was Indian Trail Apartments in Addison, Illinois, somebody was killed there. Pretty positive.
Here's what I found for Texas. Texas says that it does not have to be disclosed unless directly asked by the buyer.
Okay.
So you got to ask.
I wonder,
Colin.
Frank, if in your position they don't have to tell you because you're not buying it, you were just renting it.
Perhaps.
Well, it's my first apartment was a really, really awful apartment. It was at Lawrence and Pulaski in the city.
I know it.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, we
area.
were talking about that, but yeah, it was an awful apartment, and I moved
By
in.
the strip club.
Yeah, it was right across the street from the strip club, and I moved in, and there was this brown stuff smeared all over the walls. I didn't know what the hell it was, and like, I finally called the landlord because like there was a mattress that came with the place, and it was on the mattress too. And I'm like, this doesn't fly. And I called the landlord. He goes, oh, don't worry about it. That's just blood. Like, what? He's like, yeah, the previous tenants smeared blood on everything before I threw them out. So yeah,
There was a lady that died above my apartment when I lived in Wheeling. And before she died, she was elderly. She was trying to clean. So like this lady had nobody to care for her. So she's wearing diapers. And when she would go to the bathroom, she would just take the diaper off anywhere she was in the apartment, and she'd just drop it on the floor. And then over time, she tried to clean the apartments, and she didn't. What she did was she just took like gallons of vinegar and just like poured vinegar all over the floor. And this is the apartment above mine.
Oh.
Ooh.
And so that was happening for a while. And then underneath her, I noticed these like little brown spots on the ceiling everywhere in the bedroom. And I'm like, well, I don't know what these are, but whatever. So I cleaned them once. I almost wanted to taste them because I'm stupid like that, but I'm like, nah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So this one day, I don't know what that song was, but this one day.
This is Maria's straw.
Oh, for real? Oh.
It was the straw.
You sure? I mean, it's okay if you had Taco Bell today. You
She's
can tell
got
us.
clown
Oh, okay.
juice.
So this one night I came home and I actually saw Jackie, who was on the other podcast, as well as John, who started the other podcast. They were on their balcony drinking beers. Like, Frank, we're going for a swim in the pool. You should come with. I'm like, dude, let me go get my trunks. So I go up to get my trunks, and it like rained in my bedroom. Like all of this brown stuff that turned out to be so much, it rained onto all of my stuff, my mattress, my rugs. I had like an ironing board with a bunch of clothes on it. And so I called the maintenance guy in an emergency, and he's like, he goes in my bedroom, checks it out. He's like, okay, well, I'm really afraid for the lady upstairs. And so he's like, don't go in your bedroom. Just stay in your living room tonight. We'll talk to management tomorrow. Okay. So I found out lady upstairs died. She's dead. And that brown stuff was a mixture of her like rotting body juices plus the vinegar and poop and pee from her floor. And that apartment complex, they ended up giving me a new, like I was late on the rent for like 2 weeks. They gave me a free month's rent. They gave me a new apartment down the hall, and they paid for a new mattress for me. And
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
it didn't smell.
That's so sad.
But yeah, it was very, very sad. And it's just like another lady, nobody was caring for her. Nobody's checking on her. That happened to me. It was just blood. And it was just brown, like Colin said, like just weirdly brown.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like blood, but
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It almost looked like at my place, it looked like chocolate sauce or something they'd smeared on.
Yeah,
everything.
like pudding.
Yeah.
Like a darker pudding.
Yeah, it was like thicker than you thought blood would be.
Yeah.
Crystal in the chat says that's got to be the worst story I've ever heard.
Crystal, I'm so sorry. It is something that happened to me. I remember telling my ex-girlfriend at the time, like, oh, there's
She's crying emoji.
there's like blood and poop all over my apartment. And so like I wanted to keep a lot of the stuff. I didn't keep the mattress, and I wanted to at first. I'm like, we could just pocket the mattress money, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh, Frank.
my ex-girlfriend's like, I will never sleep over at your apartment. And I was like, I can't have that. So yeah, I did not pocket that money. But yeah, it was a very sad story. Very sad.
Late Night Legends advice. If there's a random brown goo dripping from the ceiling in your apartment, do
Don't
not
ignore it.
put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
I did the Dumbledore like smell, like I didn't taste it, but I like,
Frank.
what is this on my ceiling? I did it. I and I don't care about me. I felt bad for the lady upstairs.
Crystal says, I'm sorry for you.
It's okay, Crystal. I survived. It was a life experience. I moved on. Wheeling, Illinois, everybody. VIP Apartments, 901 Corey Lane. 901 Corey Lane, 60090. If you'd like to know the address. Second floor.
That's awful. Okay. Well,
Colin, what are you doing here with this gym?
thank you for that riveting diversion, Frank. You scarred
All right,
some of
so-
our listeners.
All right, so they go to court. It goes bankrupt.
Yes.
Or they go bankrupt.
Yeah.
They're kind of screwed out of everything.
Yeah.
Very sad, tragic.
Super tragic.
What happens to the house?
I don't know.
Oh, that's the unsolved mystery part.
So that was the Haneys. The Williams are thinking about it as well. They are talking to lawyers, and the lawyers kind of tell them that without definitive proof of a cemetery on their property, nothing could be done. And Jean makes the decision and says, if you want a body, I'll show you a body, and starts digging. Because she knows there's going to be one. And she, soon after she starts digging, though, she falls ill. She randomly, all of a sudden, super sick, can't continue digging. And her adult daughter, Tina, volunteered to finish the job. And after digging for half an hour, she also fell ill. And somebody else who was there that day described, I remember her saying that she felt funny. She was getting dizzy as well. She put the shovel down and went back inside and just laid down on the couch. She's like, Mom, Dad, I don't feel right. There's something wrong. The last thing I remember her saying was, Mommy, take care of my baby. Take care of my baby. And she looked so scared. While waiting for the paramedics to arrive, Jean tried to keep her daughter conscious and said, quote, almost immediately her eyes started glazing over and I was talking to her, trying to talk her out of dying. Please, Tina, talk to me. And all this time, her eyes were changing until they got to the point where I knew that she wasn't responding at all. She had suffered a massive heart attack, and 2 days later, she died. Jean, her mom, burdened the blame and said, I realized that I had desecrated another grave, and now I'm paying. I told Ben, we have to get out of here. It doesn't matter what we lose, what we had. And I knew that if we didn't, that I was not going to make it because my fight was gone. I could fight no more. So both families leave and everything stops. Like, nothing follows them to their new houses. Nothing happens at the houses that they were having all of these experiences in when they left. And everything happening in the houses around them stops as well. It all stops. And that's it.
So, like, no one that, like, moved into the house, like, they didn't dig and stuff. Because, I mean, what if they were just, they were, like, digging and releasing toxins and stuff? Or
I don't know. But the next owners of the house didn't experience anything.
Do you think if you desecrate a grave, it's you, like, you pay the price and then the price is paid and it's over? Is that how it works?
Only the one family did, though, right? The other family
That's what I'm
didn't.
saying. Like, if they're the ones that did that, does that, once the price is paid, like, is it done? Like,
I guess it depends on how sassy the ghost is. Like, if you dig up my grave, I'm going on a rampage.
well, remind me not to do that.
If I die, don't dig me up, Frank.
Fuck. Well, there goes part of my plan.
Yeah. Now you need new Christmas presents.
Well, no, to be honest, we both know that I'm dying first, so you can get the life insurance.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm also starting to wonder, like, if you were to accidentally desecrate a grave, what do you do? Where do you go? How do you get that fixed? Because stuff could be going on around you without something major, like you die or whatever. Like, would you go to the church? Do you talk to somebody at church? Do you, like, talk to the family? Do you talk to the ghost itself or the spirit you think might be haunting you and ask for forgiveness? Like, what are those steps? What does that look like?
Like, if you accidentally desecrate a grave, but you realize it in the moment, or you do it and you don't realize it.
So, like, okay, the guy rings my bell. He's like, oh, there's a body in the ground. I dig. I hit the pine box. I open it up. There's a skeleton in there. I'm like, that can't be a skeleton. So I keep digging. And I'm like, oh, actually, I made a mistake. It's totally a skeleton. And I probably should not have kept digging, even though I was told it was there. Now, stuff is happening to me. Now I'm haunted. How do I come back from that? Like, what do I do to appease a potential ghost spirit that might be haunting me for doing that to them? Thanks, Tim.
I think personally, if that happened, I would probably stop and acknowledge it and, talk to the person and say, I am so sorry. I did not realize that this was here, and just apologize profusely to them, and then try and put with a high manner of respect, put everything back very carefully, rebury it very carefully, maybe put up a little headstone or something, and then hopefully not get haunted at all. But then if I got haunted, I don't know.
Then that ghost is just a dick.
Yeah.
See, I don't know, hindsight being 2020, I think I would have kept building the pool and had them relocate the bodies, let them go somewhere else and have a problem.
Put a headstone down, Colin. You got to put "you're just being a dick" on the epitaph.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. put that in there. You're just being a dick. 2025.
2025.
How about you, Maria? What you gonna do?
Um,
Chris says
Yeah,
apparently it's a sacrifice. It's sacrifice a child at move time. Thanks, Chris.
But only an orphan. It has to be an orphan.
Yeah, either that or just apologize.
Sacrifice a
sorry.
child or apologize.
Either that
Dear
or
Spirit,
apologize.
from the bottom of my heart, my bad.
Oops.
Which one are we trying first? The apology or the
Apologize first, sacrifice later if it doesn't work.
Is this what you want? Is this what you want? You happy now?
You see what you made me do? This is terrible. Oh. Yeah. So that was the unsolved mystery that I had for tonight. But I do have kind of a similar-ish story that I can tell if you guys want to hear it. But it is solved.
Okay.
Oh.
So this actually happened to somebody that I know. This was an old coworker of mine. And kind of similarly, they moved into a house he did with his wife. And he was just working out front one day. And a neighbor comes up to him and says, "Do you know what happened in your backyard?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, oh, okay, you don't know. Never mind. And my coworker is like, "No, what are you talking about?" And they just walk away. They're like, "Never mind. Have a good day. Bye." So he goes down to the public record office and searches for things that happened at his address and finds a news article that a local madam went missing, and the man that lived in the house at the time was a suspect. A madam, she owned a brothel and was like over the brothel, so she had come to the house to talk to him about something. And he's like, "Oh, what do you mean what happened in my backyard?" So he is looking through these articles, and all it says is that she was murdered in the house. That's all that it says. And they found her in the backyard. So he goes home and he looks in his backyard and he's like, I don't know where they possibly could have found her. I don't see anything. And he's looking at his patio and his walkway, and all of it is the exact same except for one section.
No.
One section of the walkway is different. And so he's like, "Well, I bet you that's where it happened." And so he finds out that this woman was murdered in the house, taken outside, and the guy buried her in the backyard, kind of up against where the edge of the house was, and then poured this patio and walkway of concrete over the top. And that's where the police had chiseled out and dug out to find the body. And then they report it to try and make it look nice.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had some weird stuff happen in his house, but not really anything that he paid attention to all that much. But it seemed like anything that happened always happened in the master bedroom. And so he was kind of like, I wonder if this is where she was murdered. And they decided to do some renovations on the house, and they were redoing the flooring. And I can't remember if they found anything under the flooring when they ripped it out. But he said when he was removing the molding from around the door, he found a couple orange sequins. And when he went back to look at the paper, there was a photo of that lady and the owner of the house. Or no, it was just a photo of the lady, but she was wearing an orange sequin dress.
Ugh.
So when he was dragging her out, pieces of her dress got caught in that molding around the door, and he found it.
It's unbelievable.
Right. So that's a solved mystery. But
It reminded me of I've told this story so many times where I found myself in front of John Wayne Gacy's house here in the Chicago area. But it reminded me of that story because he had a bunch of kids buried in his crawl space. They found like 20, 30 bodies under there, like young kids. But they tore down the house because they had to excavate everything, and they rebuilt it. It's like it was a brand new house, but it's weird because every other house has like a very similar style in the block, and then there's just one house in the middle of the block that's like totally different. It's like something's different about this house, just like something was different about that area. Wow.
scary.
You never think that stuff can happen to either like somebody you know or in your neighborhood until it happens. Something unrelated to like death happened in my hometown that I found out about through Facebook. And it was just similar vibes of like, wow, I never thought that could happen in my hometown.
I can probably talk more about it later, but I have information on a case in my area that is ongoing. Some that is not public knowledge, so I won't share it. But you know how they say that in your lifetime you walk past like 7 to 11 murders or something like that?
I've never heard that.
Oh, really?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I've heard of 7 degrees
I
of
hope not.
separation.
I feel like I've already like passed out.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So once the case is through trial and all that, I can come back and tell more about the story because it does kind of relate to what we're talking about. But everybody knows Phil McSpooky, and he spoke to this person in our area that is currently sitting in jail for murdering someone. And he talked to him like a couple of years ago and was chatting to him about schooling. They were, McSpooky was going through specific schooling at the time, and this guy was interested in doing it as well and was kind of picking his brain. Like, do you remember it?
You told me about this.
Do you not?
You
Yes.
told me about this before.
Yes.
I remember this now.
Yeah. So they went to school together, but just a couple years ago, he was chatting with this guy for quite a while. They saw each other outside of the gym, and then all of a sudden we get word that he had murdered someone, and some of what has come out, if you know people in the area, is kind of similar to some of these stories. So once it's public, I'll come back and share more about it.
For those who are curious and would like to see Phil McSpooky in his one episode that he hosted of Late Night Legends, please refer back to the YouTube episode that was published on April 7th, where you can see Phil McSpooky hosted a show with, I forgot what the other host name was. I want to say it was Dreadful D. Was it Dreadful D?
Something
like that. But Phil McSpooky hosted that show if you'd like to see. That was a very good show. They were talking about, Phil McSpooky was talking about tornadoes.
Yes.
And like that whole horror, because that's very horrifying.
to a lot of people,
Yes.
including me.
Somebody left a comment. Phil McSpooky can haunt me anytime, and his
was me.
ego is still ongoing
Really?
from that comment. So,
When I say it, it doesn't mean anything. But when a stranger on the internet says it, all right.
it's because you flirt with him all the time.
That's true. I flirt with all the guys, even though I'm straight and married.
But yeah. Go back and watch the April show. Leave a nice comment for McSpooky. He does read comments.
So what's your little stat? 1 in 7, 1 in 11 people? that you
Something
walk
like
by,
that.
something like
Like you will walk past 7 or more murderers in your lifetime, which doesn't surprise me because there's a lot of murder that happens, and like only 30% of murder cases are solved or something like that. So
I never really thought about it until you said it. Then I was sitting back. I was like, wait, I know 2 people.
Oh,
You know 2 people that were murdered?
No, that did the murdering.
That did,
Oh.
Holy Tim.
you're not walking past people that have been murdered, Frank.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't even know what
knows?
to think
a
right
ghost could be walking by you.
Could be.
And one was on the night that it happened.
You saw them on before or after?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Find out. You have homework. Let us know
Yeah.
next time.
Unsolved Mysteries. Did Tim see the murder before or after it happened?
Tim Vance, who asked not to be identified, just said that he's witnessed. He
I mean,
ran, he walked-
they never asked me about anything. So, I mean, everything happened. The dude got arrested, everything. So it was pretty cut and dry case. It wasn't like they needed.
There was a murder that happened up my street when I lived in Villa Park where a guy tore out an old woman's eyeballs.
No.
You're going to scar our listeners.
I'm sorry. It fucking happened. I was a kid. I was like, I must have been like 4 years old. We were playing just regular Nintendo. You guys are familiar with this NES? There's a Friday the 13th game that's really creepy. I was playing with my brother and my stepbrother. And all of a sudden, it wasn't the middle of the night, but it must have been like 9, 10 o'clock at night in the summertime. There was like a bunch of lights and sirens down our street. It was a quiet street in Villa Park. And that's what my stepbrother got out to go look. My parents were like, you two idiots stay inside, talking to me and my brother. But my stepbrother went out to take a look because he was like 16 or 17 at the time. And that's what he said. It's like somebody got their eyes, an old lady got her eyes taken out by somebody. I don't know if she died though. I assume she probably died. But I don't know. We never really got confirmation on the death part. Just the eyes were removed part.
That's nice, Frank.
Yeah. There was a guy that tried to kill someone with a chainsaw at the NTB here by me at one point.
National Tire and Battery?
National Tire and Battery. He waited. I went there like earlier in that morning, and this one guy
Like
was
Cook and Dundee?
no, at Algonquin and Golf.
Golf in Algonquin. That's over by the Cooper's Hawk.
Yep. And there's one guy. He had a chainsaw, and he waited behind another guy's car until the guy's shift was over, and he came out and cut the guy's arm off with a chainsaw.
That's fucking crazy, Colin.
Yeah. Well, the silly thing was, if I recall correctly, it was an electric chainsaw, and he had plugged it in.
To charge it.
Yeah,
You can't have that battery
Well,
dying
like
mid-cut.
the extension cord was running behind the guy's car or something like that. If I
What if
recall
you had it
correctly,
plugged into the guy's cigarette lighter?
that'd be great. That'd be
Not
yeah.
awesome, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
no,
it'd
I
be-
know that area very well. You got a good Meijer over there. I still go to that Meijer.
No, I like that
sometimes.
Meyer. Yeah,
Meyer's nice over there.
yeah. I'd say
They
that's
got a
big-
Kong dog over there, and they got Sushi Station with the rotary sushi. If you guys like some rotary sushi in your life,
Yep.
it's a good place. Fuck, man.
Moral of the story: don't go to Illinois.
Yeah, right?
We are violent people.
There's so many cases.
Oh my gosh.
I think, ironically, last week we decided to have our team outing in Illinois. With no backsies, by the way. No
Yeah.
backsies.
Oh, we should go to Bussy Woods. There's been like 4 dead bodies found there this summer.
We're going to
Yeah.
talk after the show.
I actually know one of the cops that found one of the bodies. So
Also,
Yeah.
we did not make that decision. Frank, you made that decision because you're too scared to get on a plane.
I ain't getting on no plane.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of planes. I just don't want somebody to touch my nuts at the TSA. There's a big difference.
They're very respectful, though.
They better pay me some money. I better get the flight for free if they're going to be asking me to turn my head and cough. You know what I'm saying? We got Crystal saying Ohio is 0% better. I've heard of some things in Ohio. I've heard of Ohio is legendary as well. The Midwest, really.
Yeah.
It's like you've got Florida that you should stay away from. I feel like people get caught in Florida. That's why I always hear stuff on the news. But people get caught in Florida. The Midwest, things happen behind closed doors. And then you've got Twilight over by Kay.
Why is
spider
that
monkeys.
a thing?
I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
We do need to
that's
have a watch
right.
party for that movie.
We do.
I did get it. I can watch it. But the problem is that on the other podcast, part of Joan's bingo card was that I was going to watch that movie this year, and out of spite, I decided to not watch it. So I won't be watching it this year as planned.
Gotcha.
She cannot win that bingo card. All right, so final thoughts. Hey, what are we thinking, guys?
I'll
Anybody?
go second to last.
Well, got me thinking a lot about murder. That's for sure.
That's a T-shirt. Let me
Yeah.
put that down. On the t-shirt.
In a negative, I'm not going to do this. Right, Colin?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
But no, it's the house was just, it was very strange. I mean, like I could see like if when other people had moved back in, if something had continued, like that'd be, oh yeah, it's just gas, or something like that, some environmental factor. But pardon me. But with it just stopping when they moved away and not affecting them after they moved away or whoever moved in afterwards, that's definitely a head scratcher.
Yeah, I think like true crime meets paranormal is pretty interesting. So like I know there's a bunch of cases that like a true crime happened and then like paranormal stuff started happening afterwards or because of it. So yeah, that could be like another topic if anyone's interested. But again, yeah, don't go to Chicago. Don't go to Ohio.
I would also say don't go to Chicago. I left Chicago. I really don't like that city.
Don't go to Illinois.
It's not fair. Illinois is okay.
Yeah, no,
Chicago's
great.
trash.
We just have, just steer clear of the murders and you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Just don't die, and that's good advice.
Chris says their daughter died and then they moved away. Yeah.
That's the part that seems odd to me, is because only one of the two families had dug up the graves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why
But
did
one-
why
Why did
for
one
the
pay?
one to get affected, you kind of can tie it to that, but for the other one to get affected, it really makes you wonder why, right?
Maybe we could reach out to an expert on this and then do a follow-up and get some advice from somebody who kind of knows what they're talking about with this type of stuff. I don't want to invite anybody on the show, don't get me wrong, but I would love to hear what the expert would say.
Yeah, I'm curious. I know that to me, the fact that they didn't see anything afterwards or nobody had any issues afterwards in the houses or the same people,
It's odd,
it
right?
makes me wonder if they
think they made it up.
If maybe they just like got in their own head a little bit, right? They knew that there were some bodies down there, so then they just started freaking themselves out, right?
What if they wanted their daughter to go and they're like, well, the ghost
Right.
ghost cursed. It wasn't us.
Well, and I mean, it was Texas, right? Which gets hot, humid. Maybe she was
Nobody wants
digging.
to
She
deal
had a
with
heat
that.
stroke and had a little. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like unheard of.
The parents could be negligent and then the daughter dies and they're like, well, it was the fucking ghost this whole time. We didn't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could happen. I don't know. I know. Interesting though. But even more interesting, I think, now is the story Kay mentioned that was true, and knowing people and what's going on with her right now or whatever. So just thinking back about that kind of stuff was a little crazy too. Haven't thought about some of that stuff in a while.
Moral of the story for me is if somebody comes up to me at my door and says, "Do you know what happened in your backyard?" Or "I really need to show you something in your backyard. There's something you really need to know." I say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, no soliciting. Bye." And I shut the door.
Just pretend like you only speak Spanish. Hey, no Nintendo. You close the door.
No Nintendo.
No Nintendo?
Yeah. That's how you say I don't understand in Spanish.
That's not.
Sure is no comprende.
No, that's I don't comprehend.
I don't do that
It's a little
either.
different.
I don't comprehend anything.
My final thought. It's really fun topic. I really want to talk more. I feel like we could talk for another hour if we had more to talk about. I especially like the real stories, like the one that happened to Phil McSpooky's coworker person. Was it a coworker? No, not.
No, it's
coworker.
my coworker.
Your coworker that he happened to talk to outside the gym.
No, 2 separate stories.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this.
Were you even
No,
listening?
I was also putting pictures in the old chat, but I want to thank everybody who was listening here live, including Crystal and Chris. Y'all make this worth doing. I would still like to put another reminder in this show that by the time this comes out, we would already have eaten Taco Bell, or we'll be doing Taco Bell on the same night. So
Crystal,
don't worry
if you're
about
still watching, put it in the chat right now. What do you want us to eat?
If you watch this episode a week from today in the morning between 10 o'clock a.m. Central and 9 o'clock Central, when we air it, and if you're commenting during that time span, you can put your Taco Bell order in. We may eat it on air. But outside of that, I would love to hear any comments of any stories that anyone has where it's like true stories that happen to them, anything like this stuff where it's like an unsolved mystery or murder stuff. Do you really believe that we run past a few murders in our lifetime? I would really like to know. Outside of that, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. Thank you for burning your house down once you find out you're getting haunted. And make sure your mom is not inside so you can give her a kiss after it's burned down. You guys split the money while you're at the casino. You bet it all on black. See y'all next week, everybody. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.